Welcome to the Under Construction Podcast with me, Martin Williams. Here we talk about how to build or rebuild your life one step at a time. Let's get to work. And welcome to the Under Construction Podcast. My name is Martin Williams. Don't forget to subscribe to the podcast. You may do so on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, and SoundCloud. All the links to the podcast can be found at guidedexpressions.com/podcast. Today, what I wanted to talk to you about is doing less and getting more done. Now, I had to learn that the game isn't about doing more. It's not about being busy for the sake of being busy, and it's not about doing a bunch of things where you are constantly, just doing a lot of stuff, but you're not really getting a lot done. And not only that, you get stressed out, you get overwhelmed, you get to a place where you don't feel like doing much of anything, and it actually decreases productivity. Now, failure happens as much with people attempting too many things as attempting too few things. Let's say, for instance, that you had a great idea, right? Maybe you wanted to sell some hats or sell some t-shirts. And then when you're looking for designs for your hat and t-shirts, you're thinking about, man, I want to sell an entire line. I want to sell a whole line of stuff. And there's nothing wrong with that. But if you don't have the experience of selling one article of clothing, whether it's a hat, t-shirt, jeans, whatever it is, jumping directly into an entire line is probably asking too much. It's probably biting off more than you can chew. And oftentimes what happens is you don't do anything, right? You don't even release the hat. You don't even release the t-shirt because you try to do too much too fast, right? Now, I want to use a different example when it comes to my health. I took control of my health when I stopped trying to jump on every workout fad that there was, and I just chose to walk every day. Now, I've mixed in some running, but walking is a tried and true way to get weight off and to keep it off. And it's also good for releasing stress. It's also good for your brain. There's been studies that have shown that people who start walking at a certain age are able to stave off things like Alzheimer's and dementia and things like that. So it's very interesting that something as simple as walking is something that anyone can do. The sidewalks are free. The paths are free. All these places are open to walk, but sometimes we go after these things, that are exciting. And, it's not to say anything bad about getting a personal trainer or anything like that. There's nothing wrong with any of that. But if you can't decide what it is you want to do, just do the simple thing, right? Do the thing that you know how to do. We all know how to walk, right? We all know how to, put our shoes on and go walking for 20 minutes. And that is better than doing nothing. Right? Now, I first heard about walking from this guy named Bernard McFadden, and he lived in the early 20th century. And he was credited with getting physical education in schools, right? A lot of people feel that we wouldn't have PE in schools if it were not for him. And in his book, he detailed how he walked 25 miles a day. Now, that's extreme, right? But McFadden lived until 87 years old, and by most accounts, he had no serious illnesses or diseases until the very end of his life when he had a urinary tract infection, but he refused to get any treatment for it. But my point is, most people are trying to change the world, and they think they need to do 100 things in order to do that. But if you just did one thing consistently, you'd make a lot more progress. Okay? Now, if you're not careful, you could fill your schedule up with hundreds and hundreds of things to do. And like I said, just doing one thing or doing, maybe 1 to 2 things every day and doing them consistently will get you much further, right? Speaker Jack Canfield uses the rule of 5, where if you do 5 things in the direction of a goal, you'll have that goal quicker than you ever thought possible, right? So when he was promoting his book, Chicken Soup for the Soul, which we've all heard of, which has sold over 1 billion copies worldwide, he and his partner, Mark Victor Hansen, would do 5 things every day in order to sell the book. If that meant giving an interview, if that meant giving a free talk somewhere, if that meant handing the book to someone to read, a free copy of the book, they each did that every single day, and they went from being rejected by over 100 publishers to earning $1 million from the sale of that book. Now, each one of those activities in and of themselves is simple. Anyone can do them. But it's the power of consistency. It's the power of doing less things consistently than doing a bunch of things inconsistently. So I challenge you, if you are trying to lose weight, if you're trying to start a business, if you're trying to do anything and you've been stuck for a considerable amount of time, I challenge you to pick up to 5 things, right, that you'll do every single day no matter what. So if you're trying to lose weight, let's say, no matter what, rain, shine, sleet, whatever it is, I'm going to walk 20 minutes. I'm going to do 10 sit-ups, 10 push-ups. No matter what happens, I'm going to do that minimum, right? If you're starting a business, I'm going to reach out to 5 people every day, no matter what, no matter how I feel, no matter how they respond. 5 times a day, I'm going to reach out to somebody. I'm going to follow 5 people on Instagram. I'm going to follow 10 people on Twitter, right? And, in the area of business, if you make one of those activities, at least one, income producing, and you do those activities every single day, think about where you'll be a year from now. If you do one income producing activity per day, a year from now, you're going to be making some money, and you're going to be making more than a little bit, right? So it's important that you embrace this idea of doing less things more consistently, and just see where you'll end up in a few months, a year, a few years from now, if you just continue to do that. So thank you so much for listening. My name is Martin Williams. Don't forget to subscribe to the podcast, like, comment, share, and I'll talk to you soon. Don't forget to subscribe to the Under Construction podcast on Spotify, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, and SoundCloud. For more information on Guided Expressions courses and products, go to guidedexpressions.com/products.